I'm Javiera Lopez from Chile. This is our university. We work in the Faculty of Engineering. We have more than 2,000 students in our faculty. And as an introduction, I'm going to talk about antimicrobial resistance, which is an urgent problem. It is foreseen that in 2050 will be one of the causes, the main causes of death around the world. For example, in the US, more than 2.8 million of antimicrobial resistant infections happens every year. And the main bacteria, the most important bacteria with antibiotic resistance corresponds to Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus aureus, and Klebsiella pneumoniae. Here is the typical routine for antimicrobial resistant identification. In the top of the figure, you can see the experimental part that is always happening. You have the patient sample, and then it goes to the mass spectrometer in a specific Amalditov. It gives you a signal about the principal ribosomal proteins that exist in the sample of the corresponding to the bacteria. So the mass spectrometer gives us the identification. So we know what species is. And then the AST, which is the antibiotic susceptibility testing, tell us if the bacteria is resistant or susceptible for any antibiotic. This takes between 24 and 72 hours. And in the bottom of the figure, we propose to work directly with the mass spectra in order to apply deep learning for identify the patterns related to the resistance and also to predict antimicrobial resistance. This is a typical mass spectra. Every peak corresponds mainly to ribosomal proteins of the bacteria. And several studies in recent years have shown that machine learning algorithms can identify this small difference, okay? So it can reveal a bacterium's resistance to a specific antibiotic. In the state of art, we found different works, for example, rapid identification and prediction of Staphylococcus aureus, resistance or susceptible to oxacillin and clindamycin. They work with XGBoost, which is a machine learning typical algorithm. We have another work related to Klebsiella pneumoniae, also in a multi-label approach with a Bayesian model. And there's another works in the multi-class approach. For example, for Staphylococcus aureus, different type of that bacteria. It is important to mention that we want to make this approach in a multi-label for multi-label tasks because the AST, the experimental AST, is one bacteria and more than one antibiotic. So we have more than one label. We have at least 3 labels, okay? 2 or 3 labels. So in this figure is the comparison between the traditional analysis of the mass spectra and our proposal. In the top of the image is shown the typical pre-processing of the mass spectra, which correspond to peak peaking, baseline removal, calibration, and smoothing, then binding, and then traditional machine learning. And our proposal is to work directly with the mass spectra and perform the binding and apply deep learning in a specific convolutional neural network. Our methodology in specific, first of all, we work with samples from Escherichia coli and with 2 antibiotics, ciprofloxacin and ceftriaxone. We have more than 4,000 samples, okay? We have these 2 labels. And then we collect all the mass spectra, and then we perform a binding, which is a technique that allows us to obtain an ordered length vector with a specific length So we put all this together and obtain a matrix with 4,000 of features. And after that, we perform the tuning, the parameters for the CNN. And finally, we obtain this matrix. And in this matrix, we have these two labels. When, for example, it's equal to 0, it means that this bacteria, this sample, is susceptible to ceftriaxone. And when it's equals to, for example, equals to 1, it means that the bacteria is resistant to that antibiotic. In specific, for example, the first sample is resistant to ceftriaxone and is susceptible to ciprofloxacin. Then we perform the Bayesian hyperparameters tuning. We work with different number of convolutional layers, number of filters, kernels, number of fully connected layers, and of neurons, and learning rate. So the final model corresponds to an input of 4,000 features with 4 convolutional layers and 3 fully connected. And the results that we obtain are shown here. In order to compare us to the state of art and a typical algorithm that was previously used, we also perform an XGBoost model. And our results with the deep learning were very, very different. I mean, were better than the XGBoost. For example, the AUROC was 0.89 in comparison to the XGBoost that was only 0.6. Besides, the AuPRC also was much better with our algorithm, and the Hamming loss was also better. It's important to calculate the Hamming loss because we're performing a multi-level approach, and also the F1 scores. Okay, so here are the figure of the AUROC curve and the AuPRC curve. So the results are showing the good performance of our model. As conclusion, we can say that deep learning significantly outperforms the results obtained by classical machine learning algorithms such as XGBoost. Besides, the use of CNN is a viable alternative for the identification of antibiotic multi-resistance when you have a lot of samples. Besides, this architecture allows us for the construction of complex systems for resistant analysis against a broader range of antibiotics, reducing the time required for treatment and decision-making in the hospital. We have to remember that we work with samples from the hospital. And as future work, we need to test this methodology in new different environments with different bacteria and antibiotics. Also, we need to address the imbalance class and to adapt this model to be applicable in laboratories with low sample collection. It is important to mention that we always have problems of samples. There's laboratories with a lot of samples and another with few samples. So to perform this, it's a very important work. For example, we're working on another thing now related to transfer learning. We have 2 works under revision in very good journals. So we hope to apply this for our new samples. And also the imbalance problem we're treating now with a student with GANS, okay? And our acknowledgement, first of all, to the Latinx community for the Neural Information Processing System Conference, a la Agencia Nacional de Investigación y Desarrollo del Ministerio de Ciencia del Gobierno de Chile y al Hospital Regional de Talca. Yeah, this is our project, and this is my laboratory of intelligent system and multidisciplinary data science. And muchas gracias.